Hello everyone, it's your boy Sav. Today we're gonna be doing another team build with one of the new Pokemon, not new Pokemons, but one of the Pokemons that were reintroduced in the tier. So yeah, this time we're using DARKRAI. This Pokemon has been banned from regular play, aka OU, for like since its release, right? It's never been allowed. So now that the power creep has been, increasing even more, things that were already established as too strong for OU, now they're being retested and we are able to see, okay, if this Pokemon is still too much or not. So yeah, we're doing DARKRAI this time. I have played a little bit with DARKRAI before in OU Premier League, where we were able to, I was playing for the suspect test slot and we were able to play around DARKRAI, and it felt pretty alright, not gonna lie. It didn't feel broken, it didn't feel overwhelming, but it didn't feel bad or unviable or anything like that, obviously, right? I mean, we're talking about DARKRAI. Look at these massive stats, incredible offensive stats. The Dark offensively is quite nice. It has some drawbacks. It doesn't provide very much defensively. It doesn't have incredible defensive stats or typing, and offensively, mono Dark is not good. We have seen that before with Zoroark, we have seen that before. Dark offensively is good, but you want to complement it with a different typing to support it. Like, for example, Steel type, or like Kingambit can, for example, your Dark is resisted by Fairy, so you have the Steel type from Iron Hit Kingambit to break through it. Or like Greninja has a Water type to complement it nicely. It's not incredible, especially with Dark Pulse being like only 80 base power. It's not going to only be able to use Dark Pulse as your stab move. Nonetheless, still it has a ton of options. It has Ice Beam, it has Thunder, it has T-Wave and Will-O-Wisp utility moves. It has Rock Tomb, yeah sure, I don't know why you would use that. It has Knockoff, get rid of items, nice little Fairy coverage on Slash Bomb, Focus Blast for opposing Dark types and Steel types. You can do Nasty Blood. It has a bunch of threatening sets you can do. You can do Trick Choice. It has a lot of things you can do. Ice Beam between the grounds. So yeah, today we're gonna build DARKRAI. Now, as we said, no, hold up. Actually, we didn't say this. Before we get into the team building section and get to cook something that we like with DARKRAI, I wanted to remind you that you can subscribe to my channel. This is an incredible reminder, very important to me. I know it might not be important to you, but subscribing basically notifies you, in a real note, notifies you when the next feeds like this are up. And there's a little boom notification. Your boy Savuras dropped another video. Let's watch that. And it helps my channel too. So yeah, if you're down to subscribe, I appreciate you. And you can move it whenever you want to. Like, if you don't like my channel anymore, you're bored of my videos, makes a lot of sense. I would be bored too. I'm a lazy ass man. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. It's free. You can move it whenever you want to, and you support me a lot. So I love you if you subscribed. But with all that said, let's get into the team building. So as we said, DARKRAI doesn't provide very much defensive utility. Pure Dark is not incredible offensive, and it's even worse defensively. Only a few resistances to Ghost, to opposing Dark. Is there any more? Or is it just these two? Imagine how lame that is, to resist only Ghost and Dark. Is there more? Now that I think of it, no, bro, this shit is garbage. Anyway, resist these two. So yeah, it doesn't provide very much defensive, so it wouldn't be wise of us to use it in a defensive team, right? I could slap like a Blissey and a Clodsire and a Dondozo and make a team that would be able to deal with most threatening Pokemon, right? Because Blissey is gonna eat the special attack, the special attackers. Dondozo is gonna eat the physical attackers. So good, yeah, we have a team. Sure, you could do that, but to make the most out of DARKRAI, because it doesn't provide very much to the team defensively, but it does provide a lot offensively, we're gonna use it in an offensive team. That's right. So that is the idea that I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna build a hyper offensive team with DARKRAI, which usually are simpler to build, but you can still do a bunch of cool little things and little twists and little techs and lures, so your hyper offensive build functions better. So we talked about a couple of sets that DARKRAI can do. let's talk about a little bit of a terrace that it can do. Dark on its own, boosting Dark Pulse could be a solution to the problem that I said before, that Dark Pulse isn't as strong. So you Terra Dark, you still, or even Stellar, because you keep the same typing and you boost your damage. You could do one of those. You could also do Terra Poison. Terra Poison makes you resisting fighting and fairy, 2 weaknesses Dark has. So and you can also absorb Toxic. So things like Spetef Toxapex cannot poison you, or Clotsire, although you get Earthquake eventually, but get what I'm saying. And you could also do... by the way, with Poison you could boost your Sludge Bomb, so fairies that would resist otherwise and try to revenge kill you or deal with you, like an Amorous or Hatterene or Iron Violent. Now you can destroy them with a strong stab Sludge Bomb, right? So that's why Poison would be good. Other options may be Ghost for the fighting immunity and Extreme Speed Dragonite immunity, so you can Ice Beam revenge kill it. That could work. Fighting maybe with the Focus Blast, I don't see that being very useful. Maybe Fairy or Fire for the Draco resist. I could see maybe some of those work. Electric, Terrabust Electric, nice little Ice Beam, and in theory Thunderbolt if you do Electric. I could see that working, but no, didn't do. But I think that I want to do a different set. I think that I want to do something else. So I want to build a hyper offensive team, and hyper offense uses a dedicated lead. Because the games are short when you're using a hyper offensive build, your goal is to finish the games quickly. You don't have many resistances, you don't have many Pokemon that can eat a hit and recover and do all that stuff, play the long game. You want to get the game done quickly. So when you want to get the game done quickly, you value leading good. That's why these hyper offensive teams often have a dedicated lead. Something like Muscarada with Spike, something like Lando, something like Ribombi, Deoxys Speed maybe. You value having a great lead that even though you might end up losing that Pokemon, for like one little Stealth Rocks, or maybe a Stealth Rock and a Spike, maybe some screens, like in theory it doesn't make sense to waste a whole ass Pokemon for just some hazards. Those hazards and those side effects can boost your next partners that are trying to sweep and get the game done quickly a lot more effective. So this is why you see often hyper offensive builds trade a whole ass Pokemon. You have 6, well now you have 5 because you invested your whole ass Pokemon just to get some stupid rocks. 12%, my ass. Well, it's worth it in hyper offensive build. So we're gonna do exactly that. So I gotta decide what type of lead I want, and the way I'm gonna do that is think about the Pokemons that I have seen recently being used, as well as the type of teams, what synergies that would work with my Darkrai, and the things that and the utilities that I want my dedicated lead to have. So we said Darkrai. Darkrai is a special attacker. Maybe I can do Nasty Plot, more likely will do that. I'm more likely gonna have my stab attack and more likely gonna have a Focus Blast to be able to hit King Gambit and opposing dark types and steals. Those I think are must. The last move can be a bunch of things, the item can be a bunch of things, heavy duty boots, life orb, we can do a bunch of stuff with this. But I want to make sure that my other members of the team support it well. So I want to decide my lead, and I have seen a bunch of stuff being used. I have seen Rain, I have seen Stun, I have seen just opposing dedicated leads with Glimora and things like that. So I'm gonna click this button, I'm gonna write down Stealth Rock and see what options I have. Minion can be interesting because you can get these, it can explode, it can shell smash, it even has reflect and light screen, and the stats are good. The stats are there, and I don't think you can taunt. Can you taunt this when it's at the other form? I don't remember. Let me see. I don't remember how its ability works. Shields down. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Maybe I'm just confused with something else. It doesn't have to be Stealth Rocks. You can just invest into spikes. Because of how many Pokemons that are weak to Stealth Rocks are running heavy duty boots, it would be difficult to knock off all of them and get rid of their items so they are weak to rocks. So instead, sometimes you value clicking spikes instead, and leading with something like a Gliscor and spamming spikes, or Samurott, Hitsui and Samurott, because spikes hit the targets that wouldn't otherwise use heavy duty boots. So for example, a Pokemon like Great Tusk, you can run heavy duty boots, obviously, just to make sure that you don't get hazard damage, but usually it runs lefties. Or something like Hitchan, it's not weak to rocks, so it runs leftovers, but then the spikes are a lot more effective versus those Pokemons, or even Pokemons that would resist those Stealth Rocks, like Iron Violet, for example, or Zamazenta. Spikes hit those very hard, so you don't need to invest into Stealth Rocks, but I will invest into Stealth Rocks because I think I have a few ideas for my lead. I could either do Deoxys Speed, which I feel is the best Stealth Rock in the tier because of its super high speed, Ice Beam option for Gliscors and opposing ground types, knockoff for the Dark, Psycho Boost. I have a ton of options with this Pokemon, and you can do both Spikes, Stealth Rock, and Taunt them. So no more removal. And what's good about this is that I can Taunt, and I also can do Psycho Boost to prevent Great Tusk, one of the premier spinners in the tier, removing my hazards. So I like this a lot, but I have another idea too. I want to do Landorus. Landorus as a lead. I've seen that before in previous tiers and generations and things like that, but Landorus as a lead, I like its speed tier. It has a bunch of drawbacks, but it has some cool things going on for it. And one of them is that it can do Stealth Rocks and U-turn. I want to be able to keep that Intimidate maybe after, and get somebody in while keeping the Intimidate to remove like offensive boost. So for example, something like Dragonite comes into DD again, I have Intimidate, I can suck it, remove your attack. I think it's useful. I like its speed tier a lot. 309, outspeeding Great Tusk, really good, really good. Outspeeding Glimora, outspeeding who else? Who else? It outspeeds a bunch of stuff. What other dedicated leads does it outspeed? Let's see, Stealth Rocks. It's good versus Excadrill. Gliscor I don't do very much, but I can U-turn now versus it into somebody that is good versus Gliscor. Let me think some other options. We're not gonna discuss about Regirock and shit like that because those Pokemon. I like Skarmory. Skarmory can do Cast Up again, Brave Bird Spikes, all that fun stuff. Taunt. You can do Cast Up again, which is interesting. But I outspeed it with Lando, so I think Lando would be better. You know what? Lando's got this new move recently with a new DLC, Scorching Sands, and although it's physically stronger, this would allow me to not only have a chance to burn key threats, but it would also allow me to prevent Glimora from getting T-Spike, so I can lead versus Glimora like this. I like that, I think. I like that. So I think that's a good lead. This, however, doesn't help me versus... Let me calc. Landorus. Not... I mean, I'll do Choice Scarf, but... Scorching Sands. Okay. Versus Deoxys Speed, alright? Let's do max HP, sure. The Scorching Sands only does this amount and then the U-turn does not kill. So that's not ideal. But the Earthquake and U-turn will kill, but I want to do Scorching Sands for the other Pokemon, for the Glimora. Can also punish quite hard Great Tusk and things like that, so I think I'll stick to this. It's also a bad lead. Landorus is a bad lead versus Ribombee, so I know I want my teams, my next Pokemon to support versus it. What if we do Hypnosis, which is a generally kind of like gimmicky move and a little bit inconsistent, and we do Gravity on Landorus. What if we did that? I could do that. So then, if you don't know what Gravity does, basically all ground immunities are removed. So things like Air Balloons, things like Levitate, all those do not exist. And you give accuracy to all types of moves. So Hypnosis from your Darkrai is gonna be 100% accurate, which is quite nice. So I think I like that. But we're weak to Ribombi with this. And if I do this, it means I can on-run Sludge Bomb to be able to revenge kill it. So I think I'll definitely do Heavy Duty Boots instead of this, because of our weakness to Ribombi lead. And webs in general, right? And then I'll do... What I'll do is Great Tusk, and I'll use this set. Although I don't like Close Combat, I like Rapid Spin, and I like Terra Steel, I think. The idea I think here is I Gravity, I can Scorching Sands everyone. Is that worth it, or should I just do EQ and then try to add a poison type? What poison types do we have? I could do Iron Moth. I think it's not very good. Or at least I think it's not very good. I think I'll do Gravity with Hypnosis to have that synergy going on. I like that Poison, be able to remove Toxic Spikes and provide the defensive utilities that I talked before. And then I can do Great Tusk and spam Headlong Grasses with him because of the Gravity. So it's gonna be like a ground spam with Headlong Grass. Excuse me. I like Terra Steel because Terra Steel allows me to be a soft check to Dragonite, to Roaring Moon, to Rillaboom. Remove the Ice Spinner the terrain and prevent Howlucha from getting the boost and shit. So I think I like that, and can also prevent Mortal Spin from Glimora. So I think I'll do this core. I think this looks good. What other Pokemon can we add to this? I like the first three. Let's think about some other. Now that we have this main idea going on, I've added some defensive, not much defense because, it's a hyper offense, but I have added some Pokemon that can give you a little bit of defensive utility so I don't get swept immediately by something like King Gambit or electric type attacks. So I like that. This can also give him versus Hurricane. Which is nice. So I have a soft check to Dragonite. I have a lot of speed now with the Tusk and Darkrai, which I like a lot. I have hazard control in case they place their own hazards and webs. So I think that's good. I can Ice Spinner into a Headlong Grass the Air Balloon Golden Ghost. That Glimora, that Sticky Webs run. We need a Water Resist, absolutely. We definitely need a Water Resist. I could do something like Ogerpon maybe. Like Ogerpon seems threatening enough. But it doesn't help me versus Ribombi very much. It's a Stun Spore immunity. It is a Stun Spore immunity. I'll give him that. Serperior. Instead of Tusk, if I didn't do this route, I could do Serperior to counter webs. Because Serperior gets speed boost from Contrary. But Serperior has all the problems, I feel. Serperior is not breaking through a ton on its own. Like there's gonna be a fire, there's gonna be something that even with Stellar I think you don't break immediately. Could do it though. Especially with Rocks down. How much would Serperior do to Gouging Fire? Stellar. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't do enough. Like, that's very little damage. 27. That means if he's boots, we don't break through at all. And if I could become +1, no, that's nothing. Become +2, maybe, but. So Serp's not gonna break through on its own. But it could be a Pokemon that I can add. could do some Magenta, but I don't think it's needed for the Great Task. What other threatening sweepers will we have? I could do Iron Valiant. Great Task supports Darkrai versus Clotsire and Pex. So I like that synergy a little bit. If I do Serperior, I think I want this set. No, Leaf Storm, Terra Blast, Glare and Substitute. I don't like that I have a lot of status here because one will overlaps with the other, but I guess it's not that bad. And the question is, do we do Life Orb? I could do Life Orb because this. Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not working like that. What if I hit the Gouging Fire with a Leaf Storm? I go at +2. Let's say he takes 20%, and he's still out of range. But maybe that's the way. I think I like this more. If I went Modest, yeah, but Modest would be such a meme. Because Modest is slower than a lot. Like, Serperior's speed is very key versus Enamos and shit like that, especially at +1. So if we do that, then what else do we add? I'm trying to see threatening sweepers, right? Let's write down Swordsdance. I'm trying to think of threatening sweepers that provide synergy with the main idea, the gravity spam. They function good versus what I'm weak to, based on, you know, what I have seen the other being good. So opposing Darkrai's, Kyurems, the new Partox forms, things like that. Iron Boulder is very good. This guy could also be good. This guy could also be good. This is a great anti-lead versus Ribombee. Especially if I do this. So now I will outspeed. Now I will outspeed Ribombee and be able to hit it with this. So then I could remove Serp. Let's do that. Yeah. I like Calm Mind. I like Noise, Psychic Noise. And usually around Terra Fire. Terra Ground could also work. I think I'll do Terra Fire for now. We might change it after. Because it helps me a little bit versus a bunch of threats. Like Gouging Fire, Heatran, Blaziken, Cinderace, Iron Moth, and things like that. And it's a good anti-lead versus Ribombee. So I think this is a smart idea. This can help me deal with Heatran for my Iron Crown, which is one of its premier checks. And this can help me deal with Toxapex and such. Alright, next member on the team. I don't have a water resist. I don't have my own ground immunity, but I don't need one because I have the Lando as a lead. But leads tend to die fast. That's why I didn't count it. So I could do like a grass type or some shit. Let's think something else. You know what I enjoyed last time a lot using? Scarf Ditto. Because Scarf Ditto can give me the ability to revenge kill everything basically. I just copy you and I'm able to revenge kill whatever you had. Or even reverse sweep. So I think that sounds good. Let's do Imposter. Always maximize HP. It does that for rocks, but I don't care about rocks. I just want the 252. And what Terra you run on this? I think you would run either Stellar, because it boosts basically everything, or Fairy, because number one threat for these teams I think is Dragapult. So be able to have like I have a Shadow Ball resist, I have a Draco resist, so maybe we do Stellar in this, but I would say Fairy because it also helps versus Walking Wake Sand. You resist the water, and then so Hydro Steam is not gonna do very much, so you 4 times resist. I mean, it's still strong, but you get the idea. And then you can Terra on the Dragon type attack and eventually kill it. And then you have a strong Walking Wake. I could do Fairy, but I'll leave it Stellar at the moment. Because basically Stellar boosts everything, right? So Stellar Ditto sounds nice. I used it in the first team that I built and I quite enjoyed it, so I think I'll try it again here, which solves a lot of defensive utilities that I don't need, but it's good to not be like 6 Hydro Steams, you know, sweep, right? So it does provide some defensive utilities. Now let's think about the last Pokemon. What would it be? I don't have many special attackers. Actually I do. I'm just lying. I have a lot of speed, which I like. I have a bunch of boost energy users. I have a couple of options. Fire. Fire resist does not exist on my team. I mean, I can use Ditto versus Hichan, but I can just click Earth Powers versus me too. So what should we do for last month? I was thinking Walking Wake, because it solves a lot of issues. Oh, what the fuck? That was my cat. I'm trying to think, cat. I call him Bean. It's a girl, but I call him, and I call him Bean too. Don't judge me. I'm not sexist with my cat. He just looks like a boy, I don't know. He's nice around. So yeah, anyway. Last month, we could do something like Calmine Latias with Agility set. We could do Manaphy. Manaphy doesn't seem bad. Manaphy is a very threatening Pokemon. Let's do Manaphy. Let's do Manaphy last. Which solves a few issues. He's a very threatening breaker, and I've seen a lot of fat. So we can do something either very offensive with Hydro Pump and Life Orb and shit like that, or a more defensive approach with Nasty Plot and leftovers Heavy Duty Boots. But since I went this with Heavy Duty Boots, now that I have Iron Crown, do I need to go this? I don't want to be too weak to webs, but I think I can afford to do Life Orb. Yeah, I think I can afford to do Life Orb because I went this guy for the Bomby Webs and I have for Rapid Spin. And I can also copy and get Sticky Webs too. So I have very offensive Darkrai, which means I could do something more, you know, utility Manaphy. But I could also do like raw offense Manaphy too. So I'm trying to think, what should we do? I know I want to be able to destroy DARKRAI. So I think I'll do Stellar here too. And I'll try something cool. Or let's do a Zapdos check. Yeah, I need something for Zapdos. So instead of this, I'll do Hydro Pump, Terra Blast, Ice Beam, and Tail Glow. How does that sound? My team is a little bit weak to Zapdos, right? I have Life Orb on my Darkrai, which is gonna be able to pressure it a lot more, and I have Gravity. But if I'm not able to get the Gravity off, especially because Zapdos can outspeed my whole team, and this doesn't really deal with it, I like this idea. And Expert Belt can be key. I could do Leftovers too. Leftovers would also be nice for Zapdos. But Ice Beam and Thunderbolt in theory is very good. Let's do... Yeah, that looks better. Do I need Hydro Pump? Hydro Pump is very inaccurate. But I like raw damage. I think I'll do Leftovers over Expert Belt. I think Expert Belt is a little bit of an overkill. Let's do that. Stellar Tito. Terra Fire. Terra Fire is gonna be able to hit a few things. I could also do Terra Fighting, but I have a lot of Dark Resist. And this hits not only provides like fire resistance, so I don't need to rely on Manaphy and Ditto always. So things like Cinderace and such that would otherwise be able to revenge kill me, now they can't. But it also lures Goldingo. can be nice. And King Gambit can be lured. Steel types in general, I would otherwise check this. It reminds me of something my friend Frieza used in Smoke on Champions League. He used Girafarig with Terra Blast Fire and Double Dance. It reminds me of this. So I kind of like this idea, but an OU version of it, because he played NU in SCL. So I was thinking he destroyed 6-0 with it. Really cool stuff, man. SCL was fun. Am I too weak to something? I have Iron Violent check, I'm a little bit weak to close combat, but after I steal to lure Moonblast close combat sets, and versus Swords and Skritas should be able to beat it unless he's like Spirit Break. I cannot copy boost energy, but I have Trap Poison U2. And Hydro Pump should do a ton of damage to King Gambit, to Iron Violent, excuse me. So I think this might be it. A nice little simple hyper offensive build. I think I like this. But all that is just theorizing. Kirim check we have. All that is theorizing. Kirim, yeah, this outspeeds +1 Kirim, because Kirim often runs Dragon Dance. So yeah, I think I'm fine versus Kirim too. All that's theorizing. If you don't test the teams, it might not just work at all, and you might just think, alright, I have this, I have that for that, and we're fine. And in theory, you just get destroyed by other stuff that you didn't consider, like different terras, different sets, different whatever, maybe something that you forgot. So we're gonna do exactly that in the next video that I'm gonna upload a few hours later than the upload of this, because it takes a little while to upload, right? We're gonna test this exact team, see what changes we need to do, and give you the final copy paste of the team if you want to try it yourself. And of course, you can give me feedback in the comments below. But yeah, this is gonna be the builder for this hyper offensive team build around Darkrai. Let me know how you feel about it, and I'll catch you with another one later today using this exact team. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and please consider subscribing and liking the video. Maybe even share it with your friends. It supports my channel's growth, and I'll catch you with another one. Bye bye.